What is up, everyone? Scotty Hop here. Today we have another update for the Jaguar S Type R. Today we are going to be refinishing the rest of the intake system. So we got these intercoolers right here. This part connects obviously the intercoolers to the supercharger. There's the intake right there, air intake. We have a throttle body, then the thermostat housing, and then this heat insulation thing, which we're not going to be even doing anything with because it's just heat insulation. But anyways, today we're going to be painting, cleaning, and replacing hardware on these things. This video is probably going to take a couple days, even though it won't look like it on the video, because this thermostat housing, we actually have a strip bolt in there. We just ordered a new thermostat housing. It was only like 40 bucks, and it should be here soon. But other than that, I'm really excited to make this look new again. We're going to be doing something slightly different than most people do. Obviously, we could just replace the gaskets and throw it back in there. But I ordered some wrinkle red paint to go off of the supercharger that we did in wrinkle black. I really like the finish of it. And we're going to do some red and silver paint scheme. Trying to mimic like a Ferrari, so in my head, you know, maybe we have like a Ferrari. No, just kidding. But it is going to be red, black, and then some silver bits. Should make everything look new again and a little bit more custom than before. I think we're going to do the intercoolers in red. Obviously not the lettering. I'm going to do this intercooler piece right here that goes with the supercharger in red as well. So then in theory, the supercharger will be underneath in black. And then in this air intake, I don't know if we're going to be doing silver or black yet, but once we do these pieces, replace all the gaskets, and I'll be able to tell more accurately what color I want to do. Then this throttle body I'm just going to clean up more than likely and throw it back in there. Let's get this project started. First thing we got to do is clean these things, and so the paint will stick, and to get rid of any crud, oil that's been on there since the beginning of time for this S Type R. Alright, got it cleaned up as good as it's going to get. Obviously the best way to do this is to sandblast it, but we're kind of working with what we got. So next will be the intercoolers. So same process, get to cleaning those. I'll show you guys what everything looks like once it's done and clean. Okay, I cleaned up everything as good as I can. Just used a degreaser, a little bit of sandpaper, and also masked everything off. That's pretty good. So now it's time to start painting. Alright, we're back in the ghetto paint booth. This is going to be our test piece for the wrinkle red. You're not going to be able to see this when it's back in the car, so I'm going to use the red on this supercharger intake piece, and then the two intercoolers. But this will be the test piece, so let's see how this turns out. We got the wrinkle red right here. Got to heat it up, heat up the part, and then use more heat. Should use this in the oven, but on the supercharger I just used the heat gun and it came out pretty solid. So let's see how this turns out. Now when I was painting the supercharger the wrinkle black, I noticed if you just use like a super light like on your first coat and let it dry, it'll stick pretty well, so you don't really have to focus too much on primer and all that. So that's what I'm doing here. Looks kind of weird red, but hopefully it'll look how awesome I imagined it to be when I was thinking about this color combo, but we'll see. I mean, we're kind of doing uncharted territories again, so we'll see how this goes. And then I'm going to paint the two intercoolers and then the air intake gray or silver, and it should look out pretty sweet. So you can actually see this stuff dry, which is pretty cool. See the dry spot right there. So this dries pretty quick, especially with the heat gun. If you use the oven, you'll probably get more of a wrinkle effect, but I ain't about that, so. Pretty cool. Then you got the new gaskets for the side that'll go on it, all that stuff. So I'll probably do one more coat and then flip it over and do the other side. Alright, this came out freaking solid. It is bright on camera, holy cow. I know it looks pretty ricey right now, but once we get it in the car, it'll all start to make sense. But it came out pretty good. And there's a couple flaws just because I didn't sandblast it, but that is bright. I don't think anyone's really done this on an S Type R, maybe for a good reason, but came out pretty solid. Now we're doing the intercoolers. Super easy to use. I mean, you just heat it up and that's it. It dries super fast. And hopefully this part will look cool because this is the risky part. We're we're going to do is paint this wrinkle red and then sand off the lettering so it's silver again, like bare metal. And it should brighten up the engine bay quite a bit. Really don't want to use the plastic covers when we're showing off the engine bay, so this will look pretty sweet, at least I hope. Not with this painted silver or something, I guess. So, doing this, and then I'll do that side, and then we're going to flip everything over, do it again. So, catch you guys when we flip everything over. Alright, everything is painted. It was a lot of fun. Spray painting wrinkle reds are actually pretty easy because the wrinkles kind of hide the imperfections and all that, but of course there's going to be some flaws because I did it and not a professional, but I'm super stoked with how the results came out. I'm looking at it right now. It looks pretty freaking sweet. This is just a crude mock-up of what it's going to look like, but I am so excited to get this in the car. I'm not going to be using these engine covers whatsoever. Those will not be needed anymore because we got something else to show off now. This is something that I haven't seen before on Google or anything. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So here it is, you guys. Oh yeah, that looks freaking awesome. So like I said, this is just a crude mock-up. I put in the new gaskets right here, but other than that, everything's just kind of sitting there. What I'm going to do next is once it fully cures, I'm going to take like a sanding block and sand off the supercharged lettering so it's the exposed metal. Should look pretty cool. There's some paint flaws right here just because I suck, but that'll flake off once it dries up. I did the air intake in wrinkle gray, which came out pretty freaking awesome. This is exactly how I imagined it in my head, and you know how sometimes that goes, it like doesn't come out very good, but this looks freaking awesome. The black supercharger, of course the rebuilt coupler inside of it, the painted intercoolers, and the painted intake. Still have to do the thermostat housing and the throttle body, but that's the setup that will be going into the S Type R. That alone should make it look a lot more lively in there. But there it is, you guys. Just got to order some new hardware, and yeah, it should be good to go. But it was a super simple video. We just painted a couple things. If you like what you saw, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're just waiting on a few final parts from the UK before we can start putting everything back together. Yeah, I'm super happy with how that came out. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.